Yeah. Oh. Alright.
Yo, sorry guys, we just got some internet problems. So hope everyone tunes in again. So we're back now and let's try this one again.
Ik zet deze ook wel uit de wifi hier.
We'll just wait, yeah, just turn off the wifi on everything. We'll just wait up to everyone to come back.
Check,
We got already like 4. Yeah, everybody's coming back.
Ja, hoeveel hebben we er?
30, 40.
Can you tune in there?
Yeah, we're above the 100 already. So.
Yeah, everyone's ready.
Yeah, well, we'll give it like 30 seconds then.
Okay. Sorry guys. Someone closed the door and the internet just shut off. I don't know what happened. So we're back.
Back in the basement.
Just
Oh, yeah,
no,
sorry.
turn off the sound.
Ja, ik denk dat we weer back zijn.
Yeah,
Ja, we zijn back. Oké,
Okay.
cool.
Cool. So again, just drop the questions below if you have one, and we'll try to answer them all. So we just started with the intro, which are like basic elements, just some percussion elements, a vocal choppy thing, some effects, just to make the intro like flow and fit the track, but it doesn't have to be like really a thing for us. So here, just the snare roll comes up, and some effects go up, and that's basically it.
You made my home a place where I'm not alone. And you gave me love.
So let's just start on the break right now. The break, we actually did a lot of work with Haver Club, which is also a good friend of ours. He lives in Utrecht. He couldn't be here today, so that's very unfortunate, but we'll try to explain as much of it as we can. We started out with some simple chords, just some filtered down saws, and then I think Haver Club sent us some pianos, and I think there's these ones.
Ja, dat is oké.
For those who are wondering, this is just the standard Steinway piano from ES624, which is like the basic sampler from Logic. So nothing really fancy there, but I think it's just really effective, and we try to do as much as we can with the velocity of the notes and sustain pedal just to make it feel more alive. And then also, which is a little trick we can show you, use this on almost every element. We're mixing in a track. Let's look it up. So, of course, on the lead, in the drop, we just got a Fab Filter Saturn. You can just this is a saturation basically, but you can saturate not the whole sound, but you can choose which bands you wanna saturate. We just put some basic saturator O on it, and then it just fits way better in the mix, and you can control your sound a lot more. So that's really a good tip for you guys if you want to improve your mix. This is what we use a lot. And then for the break, we also got these plugs under the piano. So these are just some saw plugs we made, layered with some Omnisphere sounds, I think, and then they just evolve throughout the track. So we start out really simple, and then we open up a lot of filters of other elements just to try to make it more interesting and just really feel the euphoric sound opening up. And I think that we did that in the track. Also some effects. are underneath that, which are
Why no Mondays?
really simple, I think. Um, at the piano. Now we just add some claps and a kick. Some hi-hats are added, and of course a bass sound, which sounds like this. And of course the vocal. I saw a question down there asking us how we mix the vocals, so we use Chris Lord Alge Waves plugin for this a lot, almost all the time. It's a really, I think, simple plugin, but it just does its job like really well. Just tightens up the vocal, gives it a little bit of delay and some reverb, compression. So if you guys want to mix vocals and don't spend like a few hours doing it, just use this one, because I think it's just really
Doe je nog iets speciaals met die EQ
Well.
ook?
well, there's some EQ on it also. It's just really minor things we do in the mix. I think that's just hearing what sounds good. Don't really have like trick for this or something like that. It's just using your ears as much as you can and just listen to like the pros and think, okay, they've got a lot of more mid or highs, and then we just do that as well.
Yeah.
Maybe we can just tackle some more questions and then
Yeah,
see
some
what people want to know.
Pashwa Sony asked us why no Mondays. Well, basically our name started in high school. Like we were always just with our friends, we were chilling on the weekend, just partying, having a great time, and then, then the Monday came and we had to go back to school, face responsibilities again, and we were like, fuck that. Why can't there be no Mondays? And that was like, and we were like, oh shit, that could be a good name.
Let's fuck Mondays.
Yeah, fuck Mondays. So yeah, that's how we came up with the name. So anyway, I think the most important part of the break was like trying to find the right way to build the suspense, because it was like as you can feel until the build up, it just starts. You feel it kind of rising. I think. Did you do something like? Did we do something interesting with like automation that made it like feel like it was really like building up?
Yeah, I think there's automation like throughout the whole track. It was a pretty long vocal, so we had to make sure it didn't get boring
Yeah.
very fast. So the way we do that is just use a lot of effects, and also like almost every element we use has a filter on it, or
Yeah.
a reverb that opens up, or
Yeah, that's always a good way to build suspense. Like, start with like a really sharp high cut, and then just slowly open that, and then you can just like feel the sound rising.
yeah.
That's how I would explain it.
Yeah, also just try to do some volume automation too, because a lot of people seem to forget that volume automation like is out there, but it's like a really easy trick to like build more and more suspense in your track. I think that's really important, especially for when people are listening to your tracks. Yeah.
How did you make that bass sound in the breakdown? Maybe play it again.
Oh yeah, we can show that. Well, actually,
Lee Saleh asked us, how did you make that bass sound in the breakdown?
well, Lee Saleh, I hope I pronounced it well.
Lee Saleh.
So the bass actually consists of two things, and we always do this. Also in the drops, we have a simple sub, which is basically a sine, and then put some distortion on it. Again, Saturn, just saturate more, give it some more upper harmonics. And then we have a bass, which is the bass you can hear actually, which is this one. I think we did this one with the Virus we got here. I don't know if you guys can see it, but this is our Virus from SS. It's a really good hardware synth. You can do this too with Silent or stuff like that, but I think we did this in this one. and actually it's just a saw, I think, with some detune and I think some small reverb, and then a filter which like closes when you play the note.
Yeah.
So then you get the effect of like wow, like the note is moving in a way. Any more questions? Why we go to
Gideon Riveran asked, how do you arrange your tracks? Do you follow a template for structure or just go with what feels right? I think we just always go with what feels right. Like, we got the vocal from Brad, and we just felt like, like I said before, we just had to start out like a really like basic, and just then build the suspense throughout the vocals. So we mostly we really like to work with vocals. So we don't really use a template for arrangement. We just
well, we actually, I've got some tips. We
Yeah.
always like change up things after 8 bars. So
that's
something we always do. I think everyone does. It's
Yeah,
not something
that's true.
special, but like we try to introduce or
introduce a new element like at least every 8 bars, or maybe 4. Otherwise, it might just get boring after a while. So that's kind of
and I think also
template. Yeah.
if you most of the people then introduce a new sound after 8 bars, but it's not like obvious enough. So I think after 8 bars you really need to feel and hear that something is changing. So like maybe have 8 bars of no sub and no bass, and then the second 8 bars you add a bass, a sub, FX.
Maybe just some basic rhythmic elements like a we tend to do that a lot.
So you see that here the first 8 bars are,
You made my home.
these are just the synths and the ARP and the vocal, and then after 8 bars, which is here, the sub and the bass is added. So and you also hear after 8 bars we added some hi-hats just to give it some more tempo and some feel. It's rising. Oh yeah, this is also a really cool trick maybe you guys could use. We just put a waves pitcher on this, so sound shifter pitch is called, and we pitch the hi-hat loop up throughout the song, so it feels like you're rising all the time.
Yeah.
But actually it's just the shaker loop of hi-hat loop, which like pitches up all the time. So that's what you hear here.
I think maybe we should start on the drop because we don't have that much time
Oh
left.
yeah. So let's show the elements we did for the drop. So if you have any burning questions, please do it now because we don't have a lot of time left. Maybe I talk too much. Okay, so of course we got the kick in the drop, which is actually I think the same kick from Let It Be You and some other songs we did. These consist of a few layers we did, and we always try like have our own samples. So we try to layer some stuff and
Wat gaan deze dingen snel doen?
okay, and then we just got the snare, which is just a snare like really going really fast with a lot of sidechain. We use LFO tool for that.
It's the same snare from the intro, right?
Yeah, this is the same snare from the intro. Then we got some cymbals going with that, just to fill up the high frequencies. Then we got the sub, which is again just a distorted sine and with a lot of sidechain, of course. Then we got the bass, the obvious bass.
Okay, so Jesus Lopez asked us, how do you mix the kick with the bass line? What do you use?
So actually the kick and the bass line is something a lot of people ask us, but I think you shouldn't like overproduce something like that. We just use a sine with distortion, like we told you, and a simple kick. We like most of the time we don't do something to the kick, and then the only thing we do to the sub is make sure it doesn't play when the kick does. So you see here, this is LFO tool, and this is every beat of the drop, and then you can cut the volume here and just make it go up there. So you can hear when the kick is playing, the sub is like at lowest, so it has no volume, and then when the kick loses its volume,
The
sub-
sub comes in.
the sub comes up. So
Yeah, it's not that hard. It's just making sure that the sub isn't playing when the kick is,
Yeah.
and the other way around.
and then what we do then is just layer like I always call it like the hear bass, so the bass you hear.
The mid bass.
Yeah, the mid bass. And then what we do is we always cut like at 150 hertz, I think, something like that.
Because those are the frequencies the sub will fill up.
Yeah, that's where the sub is, and then just put the same sidechain on it, so it doesn't play when the kick does. And then you just mix your sub and your bass,
Yeah.
or for your kick and your sub and your bass.
Yeah.
Are there more questions?
A lot of people are asking about our master chain. Do
Okay.
you guys want us to explain our master chain, or keep on explaining about the drop? Just say what you want in the comments, and we'll go for it.
Okay, there's like a few more elements in the drop, so I'll just play those. Okay, 3 more main elements are the chords, of course. And this is again, I think, the Virus, Silent One, and I think a Serum preset, which is in there. But these are really basic presets, but we EQ'd them really fancy, I think, and then
Fancy.
yeah, fancy. And
Heb je die EQ dat je aan het dippen bent op dit project?
no,
niet
these are just really basic
She's
mixing stuff.
But the
lost
drop
the
lead-
chain like 7 times. So.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go to the master chain. I think one thing to know about the master chain is we don't produce with the master chain on it. We just produce with like one limiter on it, which is Invisible Limiter by AOM. I don't know what it's called, but it's this one. And then we just crank the volume so we can hear how it sounds if it was like loud. And then what we do on the master chain for this one, I think we start off with with one maximizer, which just squashes the sound and makes sure like the very peaks are gone and you have like a steady signal. You can copy these settings if you want to. I think this not that
Not that
fancy. Okay, and then the second thing we do is we use the Brainworks BX control to make everything under 140 hertz mono, because I don't think you need like stereo information under 140 hertz. So we just remove that, makes it a lot tighter and better to control also. And the next thing we do is actually a little bit of EQing. So we don't do that much most of the time on the master, but sometimes we just dip some highs, boost some lows, but really subtle, so not more than like, I don't know, 1, 2, maybe 3 dBs, but that's all.
Even een comment erin.
Then there's only one thing we do, or 2 things we do after that. That's compression. Compression, we just do a light squash on that, like a ratio of 2. A bit of attack, just so the kick comes through, not a lot of release, and just make it like squash it a little bit, but not too much, because I think then it loses its punch and its power, and also it becomes a little bit like muddy. I think if you compress it too much, it sounds like not right to me. But yeah, you can fill that in for yourselves. And then the last thing we do is like another maximizer, but I think it's the same settings, but we just use dithering on this one. But that's not that interesting. So that's the master chain, really short. We don't do a lot on the master chain because we think the most important thing
Is the mix.
Yeah, it's the mix. So if your mix is right, you can just put like a good limiter on it, and it should sound really good.
Yeah, I think the most important thing for a good mix is just finding the right sound to fill the right amount of frequencies. Yeah, so just make sure, like we said, if you get a sub and also a bass that you really hear, make sure the bass you really hear doesn't have any of the frequencies the sub uses, and then maybe we can show them like what kind of frequencies we cut out for like the lead melody.
Yeah,
Lead
of course.
sound.
So we can do like one more thing, and then we have to go, I think.
Yeah.
So the last thing is the lead. There's like 2 stems of the lead we got here. So it's this one. With a lot of reverb on it. And then this is the second one. So what we do here, we use Saturn again. We use the LFO tool, and we use some EQing. So if you see here, we just cut out like some lows. So those frequencies are used by the sub, the kick, the bass. We don't want like those to be like we don't want those frequencies to be heard in like the sub, or because it's the lead and you're only gonna hear the lead like above like 1K or 500 hertz maybe, and then like below that you can just cut it away because you're never gonna hear it. It's only gonna mud up your mix.
It's unnecessary information. You just basically have to cut out all the unnecessary information if you want like a really clean mix.
Yeah. So the rest is just effects, really simple.
But those effects, like it might not seem that interesting, but when it drops, if you don't have those effects, it sounds like way less powerful.
Exciting.
Yeah.
I think without effects.
You need them.
And then with effects.
So yeah, I think
we basically did everything really fast.
yeah, we're kind of out of time, I think.
Yeah.
If you guys have any, if you guys have any more questions, you could just hit us up on Snapchat. We call it No Mondays Music, so No Mondays Music, and we'll answer like the rest of the evening. We'll answer all your questions there. So if you have any more questions about mixing, mastering, how we did the bass, the lead,
How
effects,
we use the buses. Festus
Um,
Lopez asking again.
yeah, so all that kind of stuff, just ask them on Snapchat and we'll answer those questions all
we'll
night
try.
long.
Yeah.
We try to.
I hope you enjoyed it and you learned something, and we had a blast. So yeah,
Thanks for watching. Man.
Thanks for watching.
Thanks for tuning in.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys later.
Bye bye.